Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Tina, and thank you for joining me for this Scrappin' with Scraps series that I have going on. I'm excited for this series because, one, it was a request, and I love that. I love to be able to help people reach their craft goals and be part of them. It just fills me with a lot of joy. But this is actually part two. So in the first video, I shared how to create the grid. And I'll make sure that I put both of the videos links in part one and part two to each other down in the description, along with any other information that I have regarding products or anything like that. I'm using old products out of my stash, but actually this paper here, this kit here was part of a scrapbook workshop. And so I really like that. So it has extra little bits and pieces that may not have been in the original paper pack, but I think they were all just so much fun. All right, so here we go. Now this is for part two, which is going to be the second page. So in the first video, just to catch you up, I created this grid, cut it in half, showed how to create these grids with your scraps, made page one, and now we're going to do page two. So hopefully you'll just pop over there and maybe watch the first video before you do the second. All right, so what I did here was I put the same zip strip across the top, a 1/2 inch piece. It does not have to be a zip strip. 1/2 inch piece of anything you want across the top of both of these are going to work. My bottom 6 inches are covered with that grid. I had these acrylic bits that said party, and I put just some of my regular liquid adhesive on them to seal them together. Let's see, and I cut some pieces and did a little bit of pre-work. All right, I'm going to bring some pieces in for what I'm going to do to finish this layout off. All right, I've grabbed some coordinating cardstock, and same ones that I used. I just said like I matched it, right? That's all I did. All right, I have this sticker here that has almost all the sticky off of it. I'm going to just put these on here. And what I did with this piece here, that is 3 1/4 by, oh, I should know that. Hold on for a second. I left it a little bigger by 1/8 of an inch, and I'll tell you why. It is 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. So I left this, that extra 1/8 of an inch longer on the 8 1/2 to give the bigger gap in the middle on this, because in the first video I shared how this piece that I had, I was just going to kind of make it work, and it was off by 1/8 of an inch, but it left me a little extra room to put a banner in there. And I'm going to do the same on this, just so for the uniform of the 2 pages for it to come across. All right, I have that, and I have a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of the green, matching green. This is jade. And then behind this, in the first one, I did this little offset with a piece of paper. I actually did it the same size. This one I'm going to do smaller. So just adding a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to line it up with the bottom corner and then kind of decide how much of it I want. I want it to be a little bit taller, so it's not lining up the bottom corner. I'm about here now. Now I'm just having that. There we go. So it's about right here. Use a scrap and just add any little amount that you want there. Now here I had a piece of this pattern paper, and this was part of the workshop kit. And that's, you'll see it through here. Some of these, this black and white paper and this, were both only in the scrapbook workshop. So if you're going to work with this, just replace it with whatever you have. But that's the idea for all of this, because you can redo these sketches with any scraps you have. But I did 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then 1/8 of an inch bigger for the black to bring a little bit more black in. All right, I'm going to grab the other page. I'm going to kind of go back and forth as I look at these, and then I'm going to bring them in at the end. And I did notice, this is what I wanted to show you. I did notice when I cut it that I'm going to have these two right next to each other. I'm going to be okay with it, but if I had just like maybe swapped one, if I had noticed when I paid attention to that. So if that's something that's going to bother you, you know, this is the time to swap it out. And you could even cut a 2 by 2 out of a circle, or you know, anything you want. So if that being next to each other is really going to bother you, this would be the time to, you know, to kind of check those things. Now, what I would do is, if I was going to replace it, let's see, You really could just turn it over and use this side, but I'm not a huge fan of always taking my pieces off. And this paper, although it is thick and nice, it's also thin enough to do this little thing that I want to show you if you have the extra papers, so that you don't have to like really swap them and stuff. 1 3/4, 1 3/4. And we're going to just put it right on top to cover it up, okay? So there you go. I just wanted to give a little share and show on that. All right, so I'm going to put this one on an angle. I'm going to put this one in the middle. I'm going to put this one over here on an angle. This is on a little bit too much of an angle, that yellow. All right, and before I forget, I need to show you what my throwaway is going to be, because I will not be doing another layout. There are some techniques I could do. There's some cards, but that wasn't the point of this series. The point of the series was to really focus on scrapbooking. So I want to do that. I'm going to bring this one in and just decide where I would like it. I'm thinking about keeping these coming across. I'm going to go a little lower than that though. I have these circle elements that are here, and I think it's okay if I then bring this one up to about the same height, give or take, and squaring it off, because this is actually the complementary piece to this. And I also have a method to my madness. I want this to be low enough to create a little area in here that's kind of like framed out. All right, but this is just going to help me kind of eyeball some things and place them down. All right. And this is the one that I want to keep nice and straight. And I know this is cut off a little bit on the end, but I'll do a shift after I put them together. I'm really just using it like to kind of line them up. All right, and then now this one here. There's so much adhesive. All right, and I see I'm just kind of looking at where this is and then bringing it over here. And I don't want this to be like, this was, you know, tilted a little bit more. So I'm just trying to make them kind of a little bit more complementary. And I think that's going to be nice for me in case I want to put a little something above it. Okay, I'm going to tuck this out of the way, but I'm going to bring it in at the end. And here is what I'm throwing away. So at some point you have to say, okay, now some things that you could do with this. If you're like, I want to watch the whole series, Tina, to see what you do, and then I want to decide, you know, if I want to do any of those things with my scraps, then by all means keep it. Okay, but some of these scraps I literally pulled out, like I was going to throw them in the trash, but I was like, no, I have to do this series. So I pulled them out. All right, so I'm going to be throwing those scraps away, but obviously the technique you saw here, if you are a card maker, those scraps become a little more precious, because those you would do like a 4 by 5 1/4 mat and do the cutoff technique you're going to see later on. So that might not make sense now, but it is going to make sense later on in this series. Okay, I'm just going to line up my party and put that out. I'm going to line my R up with that grid line. It's going to really help me space my letters and do all that. And as I mentioned, I just put some glue on the back of the double pieces to keep them together and keep them from falling out. Let's grab some foam tape. I have this Hip Hip Hooray sticker, but you could do any one that you had. And if you don't have stickers in this case and you don't have things that match, if maybe making handmade embellishments are an issue for you, then comment on that so I can get that series going as well. Let me know how I can help you. All right, Hip Hip Hooray. I think that looks great. I have another piece of paper, and let me double check this because that's about 1 inch, and my other one is a little bit smaller than that. So I'm just going to shave 1/8 of an inch or so off of it, but I'm not going to make sure that it matches. You could always tear the edges on these as well, especially if that fits your design. All right, I'm going to do about 1/2 of an inch in, a little less there, just like that. And I have this Happy Birthday to You and many more. This was a banner sticker that was on, or dovetail sticker that was on the sticker sheet, my leftover stickers. All right, and I'm going to put this right in on this. There we go. I really like that. The dots are smaller. I have another circle. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go ahead and shift this over a little bit. Let's see. Let's make sure it stays in frame. Here we go. And we'll see how much of this one we can bring in and then finish these off together. Let's see. I think that's pretty good. Move back a little bit. All right, I'm standing on my tiptoes. Okay, so now I have these two little matching things up here that I like, and they're in the center. You could also do those to the outside. And now I'm going to bring in some of my same old, same old. All right, so I have the circle that I have right here. And I'm thinking before I put the party down that I would like this under here. Yeah, I think I am going to like that. Let's lift that a little bit. And I'm going to tuck that under there. I want to give you a size on these circles in case you end up liking them. It's about 2 3/4. So it's about 2 3/4 circle. And if you find you like something and, you know, that it brings kind of a look that you like in your crafting, I think that that's always a really great thing to just kind of have on hand. So something else you can do with your scraps, especially the ones that are more generic, is cut them into things like circles or stars or whatever you like. When you have those pieces, maybe just have some of this pink left, and you have another paper pack that has some pink in it that you would like. Go ahead and just cut some of those embellishments out and throw them in with the next kit. All right, I like this together. I liked it the first time and I like it now. I'm going to trace the one with a little bit of black. Just put a little black marker on there to make it stand out just a little bit more. And I'm just trying to make it a little thicker, so I got to go around it twice. There we go. If you like it thinner, one time. There we go. Okay. So now what I want to do is get my party pieces down. And I think for those, I might use glue dots. I just want to make sure that my glue dots are not going to pull apart, you know, the letters. Nope, they stick very nicely. I like the way acrylic glue dots stick to acrylic. So I have 2 on this one. And what I really want to do is make sure that this goes like all 4 of these, not equally, just like all 4. And you can kind of see the grid line in between there. And I like that look. Okay, 1 at the bottom. And then I'm just shaping them with my fingers. You know, making sure that there are not any on the side and just kind of peeling them back and making sure that that glue dot is only on the bottom. These are the small glue dots. I do have small, I have mini, I have some bigger ones. These are the ones I use the most. And I buy these in pretty large increments when I buy them, because it's just a staple for me. Okay, and I'm just going to keep adding my letters, just starting with the center and then moving to the right and to the left, or to the left and to the right, depending on which way you like to do them. And this is how I do all my titles. Anytime I do a title, anytime I do anything, I start with that middle and then I line everything up. And I always like to lay everything down first because I'm not great at spacing, and I think it kind of helps me a little bit. All right, almost done. And I'm not using a lot of acrylic in my books these days, so it's kind of nice to go back and be mindful of the acrylic. Might even have to pull some more acrylic out and set it up. I do like to use all my stuff. Okay, not too bad. I'm a little bit off. I'm just going to kind of move them a little bit. There we go. Okay, for this here, I'm going to put this piece on some foam tape. And I usually bought these kits and then did what I wanted to. Originally, I tried to do a couple of the 6 pages like they were, but I always found I liked my own style better, but I liked all the exclusive items that came in them. So that's why I'll have so many leftover pieces that would have gone on projects. If you did the whole project, all 6 pages, I have no idea what you would have left. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I have lots of pieces. All right, this is just going on this. And I think that looks really good, even though it's not in the center. Let's just say. Okay, give it a little peel. I was successful. But if it's a matter of ripping it and it not being in the center, not being in the center is the winner. All right, there we go. Now I have some stickers that I'm going to be bringing in as well. So I have these off to the side, and I'm going to try to really use up a bunch of these. I'm going to go back to my first layout as well. I gave those a little look while I was setting this project up. Okay, I have this little arrow here, and I thought it would be a nice pop of color right up here. Just double checking that. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Okay. I like this, the complementary circles. Now, another thing you could have done is stuck the circle here and then put it here so that you had one going this way and one going this way. And then something else you could always do is flip your pages. Maybe I'll show that at the end if I think of it. Okay, look at this. So how nice, look at how nice this turned out. You would never guess that this is scraps. The grid looks so beautiful and so laid out, and it's so linear and it's so symmetrical for both pages, and it has all the things that this is one of those things where you don't look at it and think, oh, that was made with scraps. All right, I want to add some type of a decoration up here, and I have this other cupcake here, but I have a cupcake here, and I have a feeling that I'm going to like this one, I think, over here on this page. So I'm going to just move that here so I don't forget to use it. There is this little kind of circle thing here. I could do that. And I want to move some things, but I'm kind of thinking I might go with this little banner piece here. I'm not going to use the birthday guy or the feeling old because I don't know what I'm going to use these for, but I am going to start adding some of these pieces right here, as well as these pieces down here. And you're going to see I'm going to kind of go through pretty quick, adding those everywhere that I can. This one's going to get foam tape, and a lot of the other ones are not. Okay. I'm going to put this on because even though these are all embellishments, this particular one is kind of setting off the top of my picture. All right, we'll put this one down. Make this one just, you know what? It's a little bit longer than I would like. This way, it's just a little bit longer than I would like. I'm going to move it down over the picture. There we go. That's a lot better. So now I kind of have this. All right, I'm going to start grabbing some of these pieces in and just kind of adding those here and there. I'm also going to use two of the like little triangle banner ones that I put over here. I'm going to do that same idea, and I'm going to add that to this area right here. I'm going to have to move this. I should have put this on first just because it's pink and I have a little bit of pink going here, and I don't think I need the double pink, so I can move this one over, you know, to a different area. All right, I'm going to start just kind of tucking some little pieces in here and there since I have so many of them. This cute little green one, that'll be a double green. We're going to pass on that. I think I'll go right here on this side. There we go. On the sides and on the tops, just kind of putting them wherever I would like to see little pops of color. And this is also something you can create with your scrap papers. It really does a lot. See, I should have used tweezers because I got big fingers, and that would have been nice, a little more centered, but that's okay. I have this really nice file label tab, and I like this a lot, and I wished I had kind of used it here to put my details on, but I have it now, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to pull it off. I love a file label. Those of you who have been with me for a while, you know I love a file label. I think that's the one that I'm going to regret not being able to use. Okay, I have some stars here. This one's really cute. I'm even going to tuck some in at the bottom on some of these because I have quite a few. Here's some little black and white dots. I still feel like I want a little something up here. Is that going to be my winner? You know what? I have a little one that says yay. I think I'm going to put that one up there. I'm stuck on the paper. There we go. It's nice. A little teeny yay. That's going to be really cute up there. I want to make sure I don't tuck it in too far. There we go. And all of these are just on the sticker sheet. I'm just pulling more and more off of the sticker sheet. That's where all of these are. But once again, paper would do just as well. Oh, that'll be cute behind it. Whoops. There we go. Just using all the bits. Little exclamation points. What do I want them for? I have no idea. But I do know that I would love something down here. So I may end up using an extra little piece. I think these have to be so specific straight up. I'm going to pass on those and just kind of keep moving along. I am coming up to my very last final pieces. All right, I have feeling old to put a little something here. I have feeling old. I have birthday guy. I don't know what I'm going to use this for. So I'm going to take a look at this for a few minutes, but I'm going to take this and add this right here to this little pile of circles. There we go. Oops, my cupcake is crooked. I'll focus on the cupcake. A little bit more. There we go. All right, I like that. I would probably even add more bling out here now that I've added 3 there. I think this is going to do it for me, but I do want something here. I think I might end up doing this feeling old. Let's take a look at it. And then let's take a look at maybe just this cute little banner piece as well. And over here I have it so that it all fits on the bigger circle, but my circles are laid out differently and this circle is a little bit bigger. So my spacing has to change, which means my choice piece would have to change the size that goes in there. All right, I'm going to try to, now I have to cut off some of both sides because they have this little area that hangs down, and that's always the way to, if you're going to change a piece, you want to take off both of something that's going to stand out. All right, so I have this blue, and this would be blue on blue, and I don't necessarily love that. I don't. Let's go with the pink one. Yeah, let's do the pink one. I'm going to do the same thing though. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I'm just cutting off one though because it doesn't have equal things. Just going to put it on top of all of it and stick it. Yeah, that's going to work for me. Let me put that on foam tape though so that it's the same. Whoops. Got to hold it by the bottom. Getting used to a new tool. It's always a thing. All right, a little bit of foam tape. Now this one's a little bigger than what I have on the other page. I think that one is a little bit thinner, but that's okay. It's still going to work. All these pieces work together. So many details for this being just scraps. I ripped my paper a little bit here, so I am making sure that I get that covered up right on top. All right. I feel like I used a lot. Now I have a couple of things here that I can just add, but if I know I'm not going to use something, I might get rid of it too, just so I don't look at it. But this page over here had a star, and I have this star. So foam tape, a little bit of foam tape on this, I think would be a great idea. I have a little piece of foam tape right here. Let's cut that down. And that way both of them, that one's too big. We use the other one. All right, here we go. You can see how this is balancing out. It's kind of like what's good for one is good for the other. Okay, I have one heart here. I have another star here. I have a big heart here, but I have these little hearts. I think this is just going to be too big for me, the pink heart. I'm not sure where I would put that at this point looking at this, but I have these little hearts, and I'm going to add, no foam tape, I'm going to add one here. I would love one in another color to go over here. Oh, see, it's going to be the same one. I obviously really loved all the tiny little things that came with this. I don't love that this is the same color. So I'm going to hold this down here. I'm going to add a third circle just like I did to the other side with using this little sticker. That's going on there. There are these little pom-pom sticker things, and I thought I saw 2 of them. There is a lot going on here. I have a lot left over. I could have used the cake on this side. I had a present on this side. I realized I have a cake right here. I'm just going to keep putting things down because, man, there is a lot. See where I would like it. I don't want to group any more circles right there. This side here, I think, is going to get, I'm going to put this here with this bigger one. There we go. And then that side gets a heart, so that balances it out a little bit. Let me see if I would even like this up here. No, it would stick out too far for me. Oh, wait. Yep, it's going to stick out too far. So I'm just going to, I think I'm close to being done. And I feel like I have given what's left on here some ample attention. Like I might, this one here, maybe I could use, you know, and just start throwing in, but I think I'm good. I really like the way this looks. Let's just add our bling. I would just ask one question. Do you think it looks like it was made with scraps? That's, I think, the real idea in using your scraps and using them well. Whether you're doing card making or scrapbooking, it's creating something that when you look at it, it doesn't look like it was done to just use stuff up. And I think this accomplishes that really well. Okay, I'm just going to add some of the bling in here. Move this one down a little bit if I can. I did press. Okay, there we go. Up here, I'm going to add 2 just like I did on the other side. But kind of put them in different places and in different directions. Very nice. Over here, I added 3 on that side, so I'm going to do the same on this, kind of mirror. There we go. And now this one has different things, so I may want to add additional bling on this side, and I'm going to do that right here. There we go. Then take a little one and put it right here. I like that. Okay, that's going to do it. All right, here it is. So we've created this 2-page layout, and you guys saw my scraps. They're really, it wasn't like I had tons of scraps and big pieces. I didn't really have much of that. I had one 12-inch piece that was like, I think 2 by 12 left, and then a lot of randomness. When you have that sizing in on that one size, which my size was 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, I did 36 of them. I can literally just cut one piece and lay it down and then take my scrap paper and hold it over it and go, can I get that? Can I get that? Can I get that? You put the ones that you can in one pile, the ones that you're not going to get it in the other pile, cut through, and this is what you end up with when you add a little bit of your solid cardstocks to it, which were also from my scraps. The only thing that I had full was the white sheet of paper and the 2 Chinese lantern mini dots, which I love. Okay, here it is. We can get you some good close-ups. We have some dimension. Love the mini dot. It really brings the circles that I used as an embellishment into this layout. You can really see I have the circles and layers that are down. I have the mini dot paper. I have that dotted circle border that is across the top of both pages. And then I have the little tiny bling to go with it and just circles on circles. But the thing that I love about it is the actual star are these squares. And then, of course, I added some stars. Ha ha ha. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. If you found this information useful, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment. I'll be sure to get back with you. If you have a scrapping with scraps idea to share, please leave it in the comments. If it's something that I use here in the group, I'll make sure to give a shout out to you and thank you for the suggestion. I love to get suggestions. I love a very active crafty group to have a lot of fun with, and I think that's what, you know, is my favorite thing about this crafting community, is how much we love to help each other. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will check out the all the videos in this series as I continue to load them over the next couple months. Take it easy. Bye bye.